I'm Valentina Gomez. I will be the next congresswoman for the state of Texas, and I'm a warrior of the one true King Jesus Christ. And England and Piers, the United States and England was built by white Christian men that follow Jesus Christ, not by a bunch of Mohammeds. So let's get that cleared out right away.
This is the most dangerous type of person in American politics right now, and the Republican Party created her. She didn't answer the question. Not even close. Piers asked her directly why she thinks it is acceptable to use that kind of language about an entire religion, and she responded by introducing herself, like she walked onto a stage, like the question never happened. That is not confidence. That is a performance, and the performance has one purpose: distraction. If you never answer the question, there is no answer on record. If there is no answer on record, the clip stays about the shock and not about the accountability. That is the whole game. This woman has run for office before. She ran in Missouri, got 7%, moved to Texas to try again. This is not a serious politician with serious policy positions. This is someone who figured out that outrage is a business model and decided to take it as far as it will go. And before we go any further, if this is your first time on the channel, hit the subscribe button and turn on notifications. This is exactly the kind of content we break down every single week, and you do not want to miss what is coming. Because here is the thing. What she just said in that clip, that was just the opening. What comes next is where it gets significantly worse.
I think you can make perfectly pertinent points about what's happened here without descending into such vile hatred towards an entire religion. And there are 5 million Muslims in the United States. Why would you want to categorize them in such a grotesque manner?
Oh, and those 5 million Muslims should definitely go back to their 56 Muslim nations. And let's get something very clear right now in your little show, Piers. I don't fear the groomers. I don't fear the pedophiles. I don't fear the corrupt politicians. And I definitely do not fear the dirty Muslims.
All right now, 5 million people, 5 million American residents, taxpayers, veterans, doctors, teachers, business owners, parents, and her answer is that they should leave. All of them, because of their religion. That is not a policy position. That is not even a coherent argument. That is just hatred with a microphone. And the fact that she delivered it with that smile, like she was proud of it, like it was the most reasonable thing anyone had ever said, that is what makes it so disturbing. Notice what she did at the end of that clip, though. She listed groomers and pedophiles alongside Muslims in the same breath, without blinking. That is not an accident. That is a deliberate, rhetorical move, associating an entire religion with the most despicable crimes imaginable so that the hatred feels justified, so that it feels like protection rather than bigotry. It is one of the oldest tricks in the playbook of people who want to dehumanize a group. And she is doing it on a live broadcast without any hesitation whatsoever. And this is where it gets even more interesting, because the panel is about to stop playing nice.
Can I jump in here real quick?
Yeah, you can, yeah.
No.
I mean, we should be clear about the fact. I mean, sure, Valentina is just a bigot, plain and simple, engages in the worst kinds of bigotry imaginable. But it's worth noting that she's fundamentally un-American, because the American Constitution says that you cannot discriminate against people based on religion. That is pretty clear. And so she's engaging in an anti-American campaign in the name of protecting America, which is just irony beyond imagination. So yes, she's a charlatan. She doesn't know what she's talking about. You can tell by looking at her that her IQ hovers around room temperature. To me, the real scandal is not engaging with her directly because she's beneath taking seriously. But the problem is with the GOP, that you have a major party in this country having a candidate running under its flagship, engaging in this kind of really incredibly hateful, incendiary rhetoric, and they do nothing about it. We've seen it with the dissent with Donald Trump himself, with the lawlessness that he has brought to the table and the corruption that he's allowed to get away with, without the party really standing up and putting country before party and before president. And you can see that slippery slope now leading to this level, where you have just a complete hateful clown like this person representing that party without the party objecting to it.
Yeah.
We are right in the middle of this, and what Omar just did matters more than people are giving him credit for. He did not take the bait. He did not argue with her directly. He did not go line by line through her claims and try to fact-check her in real time. He went straight to the structural problem. She is not just offensive. She is unconstitutional. She is running a campaign that is fundamentally incompatible with the document she claims to be defending. The First Amendment is not complicated. The Constitution does not say freedom of religion for Christians. It does not say religious freedom except for Muslims. It says, Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof. Full stop. What Valentina Gomez is campaigning on is a direct violation of the founding principles of the country she is claiming to protect. And then Omar said, the most important thing in this entire panel, the real scandal is not her. The real scandal is the GOP. Because a party that allows this kind of rhetoric to run under its banner without consequence, without objection, without anyone in leadership standing up and saying this does not represent us, that party is endorsing it by silence. We have seen this exact pattern with Donald Trump. We have seen it with the lawlessness and the corruption and the incendiary language that gradually became normalized because nobody with the power to stop it ever chose to. And now we are here. Valentina Gomez is the end of that road. She is what happens when you keep moving the line until there is no line left. I need you to sit with that for a second, because what comes next is her trying to defend all of it, and it goes exactly as badly as you would expect.
No, Piers. And to
well,
the
I actually do agree with him. I think your brazen bigotry is obvious.
Let's make something very clear, Piers. Yeah. I only discriminate against terrorists. These terrorists have no place in America. They have no place in the world. And the best type of terrorist is a dead terrorist. And let's look at your Quran. Your Quran, 8:12 states to terrorize and behead those who believe in scriptures other than the Quran. And that Afghani, that dirty Muslim that killed Sarah Beckstrom.
It doesn't actually say that, and this is the problem.
And Andrew Wolf, who is
all right, let me bring in Kasim Rashid. Welcome to Uncensored. If you'd like to say what you want to say.
Yeah, I co-sign everything Omar said there, and I think fundamentally this is where we are as a country.
So, she interrupted the host, mid-sentence, to tell us she only discriminates against terrorists. And then, in the very next breath, she called a specific ethnic group dirty on live television. While running for Congress, let's pause it right there on what just happened. She drew a distinction between terrorists and Muslims, and then immediately collapsed that distinction herself. She did not say some extremists have committed violence. She said dirty Muslims, not dirty terrorists. Muslims, the whole religion, every single person who practices it. That is not a policy position on terrorism. That is Islamophobia with a thin coat of paint slapped over the top. And then she tried to quote the Quran, a book she has clearly never read, getting it wrong, on camera, in front of a Muslim panelist, who had to sit there and listen to her butcher his scripture while making baseless claims about what it says. This is who Valentina Gomez is, not a serious candidate with serious concerns about national security. An online troll who figured out that burning books and making execution-style videos and saying the most inflammatory thing possible every single day is a faster path to followers than actually governing. She is high on outrage and completely empty on substance. And here is the part that should genuinely concern people beyond the spectacle of this interview. She keeps running. She ran in Missouri, got 7%, packed up, moved to Texas. She is begging AIPAC for money. She is getting endorsed in circles that should know better. And Donald Trump, the man who sets the tone for the entire Republican Party, endorsed the candidate, running against her rather than simply condemning what she represents. The GOP has created a permission structure for this. Every time they stay silent, every time they look the other way, every time they decide that winning matters more than decency, they send the signal that there is no floor, that you can go as low as you want, and the party will still be there. Valentina Gomez is not an outlier. She is a preview. She is what the far right looks like when the guardrails are completely gone and nobody in power has the spine to put them back. She is an embarrassment, and the party that refuses to say so clearly and loudly is one too. If this one hit, subscribe and turn on notifications. There is a lot more coming. And drop your thoughts in the comments, because I genuinely want to know where you think this ends.